finest professional wrestling from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic region, Capital Wrestling.
L is for the way you look at me with your unwanted male gaze. O is for the only woman in Capital Wrestling. V is for my vagina, which is where my strength comes from. And E is for empathy, because I feel sorry for anyone that dares to cross Luxury Muscles Incorporated. What I love about the tag team division is that there are no challengers worthy enough to step into the same ring as LMI. Although there is one team whose manager continues to gaslight and troll us, the alt-right mansplainer himself, Matthew Ryan Shapiro. Although, maybe the reason that he talks such a big game is because in reality, he is such a small player.
So we went from tag team?
Tag team to six-man tag.
We don't have a partner.
Just like that. We gotta find one.
Good thing for us.
Right.
We have winning personalities.
Us.
And I heard there's a guy who can definitely be an asset to our team over there in that dark dungeon looking area.
All right, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm behind you.
Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing could go wrong.
Camera guy, you ready? Let's go.
Yeah, nothing could go wrong.
Behold the Jason Karloff in his natural habitat.
Sir Karloff.
Mr. Karloff! He's not responding. We have an offer to extend to you. You see,
We're in a six-man tag now. We need another guy.
we need a partner just to cut it short. So what do you think?
We were hoping that, since we've been passing.
I think he's listening to music or something. I'm just gonna ask you. You want to come with it?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for you. Come. I don't think you do that, Angel.
So, Karloff, buddy. So, I was just want to tag together.
Did you?
That was a brotherly.
Oh.
Camera guy! Camera guy!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Capital Wrestling. This week we get closer to July 29th, where right here at Cathedral Hall, Lucha Libre descends upon Capital Wrestling as we have stars from TNA, Lucha Underground. They are going to be here, and they are descending upon Capital Wrestling. It's going to be fantastic. Laredo Kid, Daga Among, and DJ Z. It's going to be fantastic.
An international flavor coming to Capital Wrestling.
We're going to take a look this week at the New York Wrecking Crew as they take on the Extreme Rednecks. Matthew Ryan Shapiro having some choice words and wanting to be in the tag team division. Candace, take it away.
I'm standing here with Matthew Ryan Shapiro, manager for the New York Wrecking Crew. How are you today?
Who are you?
I'm Candace Cordellia, and I'm the new interviewer for Capital Wrestling.
Did they just like steal you from like the back of CNN? Like, did you wander here? Are newscasters just wandering around Jersey City, or are they just hiring anybody to be broadcasters now for this company? I'm going to give you some advice, sweetheart. You are in the presence of the Esquire of Excellence. You are in the presence of the greatest broadcaster in Capital Wrestling. I'm so good, they won't allow me on television. So I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to take this microphone, and I'm going to talk to Smooth Blackman and Chris Seaton. You can have a seat over there and watch how it's done. Bye-bye. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Chris Seaton and Smooth Blackman, the New York Wrecking Crew. And they're going up against the Extreme Rednecks. Now, Smooth, if there's one thing you don't like, it is a redneck, particularly an extreme one. What is it that you're going to do tonight to make sure that they never see their mothers again?
I'm going to send those boys home crying to their girlfriends so they can go straight back to their aunt's house and hug their cousins. Because we know.
Chris Seaton, Some people say that the Extreme Rednecks family tree is a stump. You like to pull out stumps, don't you, big man?
I've always been a stump puller. Tonight ain't no different.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest collection of human beings in the history of professional wrestling. Hell, in the history of sports. Don Coryell couldn't coach this team. The 65 toss power trap wouldn't be nothing if it was Chris Seaton and Smooth Blackman blocking the way. I want you to look into my eyes. Portia Vaughn, I know you're watching this. I know you're in the Upper East Side right now, eating some quinoa, getting some grass-fed kale, or whatever it is you cracker bitches do nowadays. You see this tag team doesn't need Andro to get through the night. This tag team doesn't need a shake weight to feel better about themselves. It's Chris by God Seaton and Smooth goddamn Blackman. They are the New York Wrecking Crew. Dowling, Keener, bring your white boys, because I've got Black Thunder and we're going to shut it down. Trust me.
Let the gates of hell open, boys.
Yeah. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Show Me.
Capital Wrestling's next stop is Hoboken as we christen the Capitol Auditorium on July 29th. Already signed for our biggest event to date, a tag team gauntlet for the #1 contenders to the Capital Wrestling Tag Team Championships, featuring the New York Wrecking Crew, Brutal Bob and Tough Timmy, the Classics, the Perfect Strangers, and the Amazing Graysons. In a first ever singles confrontation, Impact Wrestling's DJ Z takes on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The Colossal Mike Law takes on the Laredo Kid. The Rogue Anthony Gangone takes on Lucha Underground's Drago. The return of Sonny Kiss, the Capital Wrestling Tag Team Champions Luxury Muscles Incorporated, Ronnie Burton, and the 6'8" Endgame Paul Jourdain. All this and more. For tickets and more information, go to tinyurl.com/CapitalLucha. This week's edition of Capital Wrestling is sponsored by the world's first unpredictable card game, a spectacle so grand it could only be called The Super Show. Whether you're a longtime wrestling fan or you love card games, the SRG Universe is where you belong. Order now at srguniverse.com.
Hey, Capital Wrestling family, and welcome back to another great segment that we have today. I'm here with 3-time ECWA Tag Team Champions, the Extreme Rednecks. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. It's going good.
Awesome. So we're here because you're going to have a match with the New York Wrecking Crew. And, I mean, they've been doing pretty well so far here at Capital Wrestling. I'm just wondering what your strategy is going into the ring with them.
Win. Bottom line, win.
All right, fair enough.
That's what we do.
Yeah, got the belt to prove it. So, also, having said that, the New York Wrecking Crew, their manager, Shapiro, Shapiro, he's pretty well known. He kind of floats around the ring and tries to disrupt everything. I'm wondering how you plan on tackling him.
I never heard of him. I'm not really worried about him. It's a stupid name.
All right. All right, then.
We'll deal with him if he's out there.
All right, cool, cool. Well, there you have it, guys, and we'll take it to commercial right after this.
This week's edition of Capital Wrestling is sponsored by the world's first unpredictable card game, a spectacle so grand it could only be called The Super Show. Whether you're a longtime wrestling fan or you love card games, the SRG Universe is where you belong. Order now at srguniverse.com.
Of course, the Esquire of Excellence, Matthew Ryan Shapiro, leading the New York Wrecking Crew here in tag team action.
That's right. Welcome back to Capital Wrestling. Harry Turjanian here with Stephen James as we are graced with the presence of the New York Wrecking Crew and Matthew Ryan Shapiro. A great tag team here in the Northeast, and a lot of anger happening here. Let's be honest. Let's talk about it. They are furious that they have not received the tag team championship opportunity. They've asked for it. I mean, listen, nobody's ever accused Matthew Ryan Shapiro of staying silent when he has an issue. He's asked and asked and asked, and he has been declined over and over again an opportunity for tag team championships for his team, and it's not sitting well.
Don't forget, this week we are getting closer and closer to July 29th right here in Cathedral Hall.
Their opponents. Making their way into the ring at a combined weight of 565 pounds, hailing from Monroeville, New Jersey, they are Kyle and Chuck Payne, Extreme Rednecks.
The Extreme Rednecks here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and we are underway.
Oh, my goodness.
Pearl Harbor from the New York Wrecking Crew.
This is a train to Hoboken. The next and last stop is Hoboken.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
This week's edition of Capital Wrestling is sponsored by the world's first unpredictable card game, a spectacle so grand it could only be called The Super Show. Whether you're a longtime wrestling fan or you love card games, the SRG Universe is where you belong. Order now at srguniverse.com.
They know how to get something started, a smart move.
That happened right here in front of our commentary table.
I spilled my soda. There we go.
Referee trying to get under control, and this tag team match is underway as New York Wrecking Crew take on the Rednecks, the Extreme Rednecks.
I can't imagine two drastically different styles. The only similarity between these two is that they love to fight. So you're in for a real treat if you love violence.
All four men, you could just take a look at them, just hosses in their own right. Huge men here. You're not going to see an elegant dance. You're not going to see the sweet ballet. You're going to see hard charge and hard pounding, as you see right there here at Capital Wrestling.
A clothesline taking down Blackman. Oh my God, I'd hate to see these two in a bar. Can you imagine that?
Of course, Matthew Ryan Shapiro last week on Capital Wrestling Television made it quite clear that he believed that the New York Wrecking Crew are the true #1 contenders for the Capital Wrestling Tag Team titles.
Well, you know, he makes a valid point. I mean, you know, he asked to be part of that matchup. First of all, he asked for the titles right away, which is a smart move, you know, if you're an attorney. I mean, guess what? They said no. Okay, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
You have to figure out, how much of the relationship between Matthew Ryan Shapiro and co-founder Marcus Dowling is there?
Well, listen, Shapiro knows what he's doing. He's a finesser, you know, he's a charmer, let's be honest. You know, he can charm his way into situations.
Do you think that he can charm Marcus Dowling? He seems like a very straightforward, by-the-books guy, just trying to bring the best Capital Wrestling he could each and every week.
Well, listen, why would you try to charm someone like Marcus Dowling? You know, great, he runs the company, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that my check clears, but let's be honest, as far as personality, he's a real drip. But Shapiro doesn't have to, you know, get on his good side. He just has to make a point that, hey, the New York Wrecking Crew are the most deserving tag team in the Northeast, maybe the country. And I think he makes a valid point. Wow. The amount of power it takes to just put a hip toss on someone that size.
Of course, Mike Keener has been senior official Mike Keener has been scouting all around the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic for the best stars and best talents in the tag team wrestling division. And the Extreme Rednecks, coming from the ECWA, are the ECWA Tag Team Champions.
Right. And listen, I'm not taking anything away from the Extreme Rednecks. I think they will be a great tag team, but you know, they're out of their element here. This is the Northeast territory. It's a different style.
But how much of having that championship pedigree already goes into being able to win a match against high-caliber tag teams like the New York Wrecking Crew?
But look, I mean, it helps. It builds up confidence. It boosts your ego. You know, you've been there. You've won a championship. But I don't know who they beat for that championship. I don't know what I'm sure there's some stiff competition out there. But the New York Wrecking Crew has time and time again proven that they are the baddest, meanest tag team in the New York area.
Don't forget the Shapiro advantage, as we saw on the very first episode of Capital Wrestling Television, how it helped the New York Wrecking Crew beat Sonny Kiss and Eddie McQueen.
Well, I mean, it was a nice way to kick off their debut in Capital Wrestling. Shapiro knows what he's doing. He's out there for a reason. He's not just there for his looks. What, Steven? Why? What's the dirty look you're giving me? He's not there for his looks. I'm just saying,
Well, if he couldn't be there for his looks.
Well, let's not get into that. There's no reason to be mean.
We're late for the news.
And a little bit of a break. All right. Now he's getting tossed out of the ring, too. Both, wow.
Both New York Wrecking Crew members.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody tossed.
Nobody's tossed New York Wrecking Crew
Not like that.
And no one's going to do it.
Big man's going to fly.
Oh.
Look to maybe go through the middle rope, but a strong right hand.
And I got to wonder if they didn't just sucker those boys into that. Maybe they waited out there for a little bit.
1, 2. No dice.
They waited out there and baited him. They knew what was going on. Baited him, and then bam.
That was more of a mugging than anything else.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty. It's not always pretty. There's not a lot of flips. They're not doing a lot of high flying. They just pound and grind. Pound and grind.
Oh, the back rake. Digging in the nails. The referee's got to stop that. And Shapiro on the outside.
Oh, it's a back break. That's fine. What's wrong with that?
That's fine, but when you dig your nails in.
They're working him over in a corner. See, it's good tag team wrestling. It's smart tag. Everybody says you isolate your opponent in a corner. What's wrong with that?
On the fringe of the rules, the New York Wrecking Crew lives.
Listen, you don't survive in New York City if you play by the rules, Steven. You understand that? Rules are made to be broken.
Tag, as the New York Wrecking Crew try and stay fresh.
Punk rock, hip hop, street art, it's all about breaking the rules.
I forgot you were a breakdancer in the 80s.
That's true. It was a lot more limber then, Steven. A terrible ankle injury ruined my breakdancing career. Shapiro trying to quiet down this crowd so his men can concentrate on their match. A little bit disrespectful, quite frankly, trying to take the New York Wrecking Crew off their game.
And of course, the Wrecking Crew again cutting off the ring.
Look at that. Look at that. See what's great about that boot? Not powerful, but humiliating. Oh boy. And those strikes are really tough.
Trying to get to a vertical base. Rake of the eyes. Come on, that's not legal, Harry. Again.
I didn't see a rake of the eyes from this angle, Steven.
And using the referee. Come on. How do you abide by this?
What they're a great tag team. They're isolating their opponent. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Isolate your opponent. Use the advantage when you can tag in and tag out. And he broke at 5. He did even less than 5. The ref didn't even count to 5.
The New York Wrecking Crew do not wrestle.
No,
they commit assault.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, Steven. It's a beating when you get in there with the New York Wrecking Crew. That's why they are the baddest, meanest tag team in the New York area. There's no doubt about it. I love watching these men work.
Whether you agree with the methods or not, it does get results, and the New York Wrecking Crew are looking to go up in the tag team division, seeking out the Capital Wrestling Tag Team titles.
The Wrecking Crew are to violence what Picasso is to art. It's just fantastic to watch all the different ways they know how to do it. Look at this. Knowing your ring presence, where you are, using that corner to your advantage, and getting some momentum, taking him right to the corner.
right to the stomach here.
Oh,
and a
nice
forearm. You see the sweat fly off the beard there. Staggering about in the middle of the ring, gonna go for it again. Went to the well too many times. Spine buster. Shook the ring to its core. And the crowd trying to get the Extreme Rednecks back in this matchup.
Just want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, this match is sponsored by the world's first unpredictable card game. A spectacle so grand it could only be called the Super Show. Learn more about the Super Show and get limited edition cards and game packs at srguniverse.com.
Of course, you're here on Capital Wrestling Television. I'm Stephen James, being joined by Harry Turjanian as we have the Extreme Rednecks taking on the New York Wrecking Crew in tag team action. 1, 2, broken up. And out the ring, a tag finally made. Looking a little worse for wear there, the Extreme Rednecks.
You know, Matthew Ryan Shapiro, he wants to be a champion everywhere he goes. And he's done that. And, you know, so far it's eluded him here at Cap. Oh, my God.
To the back of the head with the book, and then a clothesline here. Referee not paying attention. 1, 2, 3, and the New York Wrecking Crew steal another one. Give an assist to Matthew Ryan Shapiro.
And the winner of this match, the New York Wrecking Crew.
Wow, what a victory for the New York Wrecking Crew. Another victory here at Capital Wrestling. And deservedly, they do deserve a shot at the championships. I don't know if that didn't prove it. That's 2 victories in a row here in Capital Wrestling, undefeated.
Of course, Matthew Ryan Shapiro and the New York Wrecking Crew making a statement here.
Yeah, move out of the way, referee. That's not your photo op. Get out of there, Rob. The Extreme Rednecks, all they can do is be bitter and go chew some cud. Because guess what? The New York Wrecking Crew, they are the baddest tag team, and they deserve and probably will be tag team champions.
What will the New York Wrecking Crew resort to next to? Oh, take yourself on.
Amazing. Where are the belts? They deserve the belts.
Matthew Ryan Shapiro calling for the belts here. Calling for something else too, but we can't say over broadcast.
Hello and welcome back to Capital Wrestling. My name is Candace Cordellia and I am sitting here with Ryan Zane and Vinny Pacifico. How are you guys?
Yeah. All right. I'm doing well. Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. So, Ryan, I understand that you are up against Rick Cataldo tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And due to the nature of Mr. Cataldo, I'd like to apologize to my mother for having to watch this match. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. And Vinny, I understand that you enacted a match in Ryan's name, but that didn't quite go as planned.
No, it did not. I was just trying to help.
Help. Ken Dixon just tossed me around the ring for 8 minutes, and I was in my jeans. I ripped a very nice pair of stretchy black jeans.
Well, I'm sorry. I did not mean to get your jeans ruined, but I will buy you a new pair of jeans.
Don't. It's okay. I just got them at Goodwill. It's fine.
So, Ryan, how do you expect to get back in the ring with Rick Cataldo? What type of strategy do you have for this match going in?
It's got to be a completely different strategy than a fight against Ken Dixon would be. I can only figure that I can be successful by maybe avoiding the Boy Diva's sexiness.
Do you have any other strategy besides avoiding his sexiness?
No, he's an anomaly and an enigma, and I'm not actually quite sure what to do.
Okay.
Well, Ryan, when I was 5, I wanted a very special Christmas for my family. And what happened was I got the complete opposite. My mom fell the day before Christmas, broke her ankle. My dad lost 2 jobs at a gas station. And I wanted one thing that Christmas. I wanted a moist, creamy, juicy pony. And all I got was the opposite. But tonight, this is your night. So go get him, Tiger.